But the reason that I love health and fitness, the reason that I fell in love with exercise, is because of the mental connection that I developed with it. I associate being in the gym with success. I successfully lost fat. I successfully built muscle. I successfully created who I am as a person today in the gym. But if I started off in the gym and got off to a really bad start, didn't see any results, hated it, didn't enjoy it, fell off after a week, I'd associate it with something very different. I'd think about being cold and wet in the winter outside. I'd think about doing endless, boring, goddamn push-ups and goblet squats in my house. I'd think about being bored to death on a cardio machine, and I'd think about giving up, and that's the worst part. I am a fitness guy. My job is a personal trainer. I have a fitness and nutrition YouTube channel. I exercise every single day and I lift weights for 60 to 90 minutes, 6 days a week. I think every single person in this world should not just exercise, but I think they should exercise and love it. However, I kind of think that if you don't currently exercise already, then now is possibly the worst time for you to start. Let me explain. But first, take 2 seconds to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ashmaypt, and also give this video a thumbs up whilst you're at it. Okay, so it might sound weird for somebody so passionate about health and fitness to tell you that now is a bad time for you to start health and fitness. But I really do have my reasons. You see, getting into fitness is a strange process, and it goes something like this. You get motivation for a certain idea. Usually, you want to lose weight to look sexy, or you want to build muscle to look sexy. So because you've got this new wave of motivation, you start working out and you start riding that wave. During this time, you either build discipline and a love for health and fitness, and that continues along this wave of motivation, or you don't build up that discipline and you don't build up that love for health and fitness, which is going to lead to you falling off and giving up, probably forever. This point in your journey is kind of make or break. Based on the progress and the enjoyment that you've made from that initial wave of motivation, that's what's going to decide whether you end up continuing and falling in love with fitness and doing it forever and achieving your goals, or it's going to decide whether you fall off and give up within a week. Inside your brain, you need to think that the time you put into it for that initial wave of motivation was worth it in terms of results and enjoyment. If your brain didn't deem it as worth it, then you won't carry it on. And the way you start your training during that initial wave of motivation will strongly dictate the amount of enjoyment and the amount of results, the amount of progress you do make in that initial period. So this will often be the reason whether you fall in love with it or you give up. So what actually gives results and enjoyment? Your results, your progress in that initial wave is going to come from nutrition, consistency, overload, and variation. Enjoyment is going to come from progress. If you make progress, you're more likely to enjoy it. But it's also going to come from lots of other things depending on who you are. The thing is, with the current situation of the world, in most places, gyms are closed. It's also winter where I live anyway, and it is cold as shit. Home gym equipment is pretty much extinct, and the relics that can be found on Facebook Marketplace is like 300 quid for a 10 kilogram plate. What? See, the thing is, when you are brand new to training, when you are a beginner, you can get results from just doing push-ups and goblet squats at home. But are they going to be good results? The kind of results that are so exciting that it drives you to carry on and get stuck into this forever? Unfortunately, probably not. Along the same lines, is there any variety in the options available to you right now? You can't experiment with loads of different exercises and loads of different machines at the gym to find what is the best for you, to find what will stimulate your muscles the most and find what you enjoy the most. You can't, because you're at home with nothing. And running outdoors right now is pretty terrible, given it is cold as hell and it's really icy. It's dangerous out there. Running indoors on a treadmill is great for a little while, and then it gets really really boring. Being consistent with exercise and fitness really comes from developing discipline, and beginners don't have discipline yet. It's not something they've developed. Discipline to be consistent and train on the days that you don't want to train. Sticking to your calories and your macros, your diet plan on days you don't want to. That is all developed during and long after that initial wave of motivation. And unfortunately, given the current situation, the beginner initial wave of motivation is going to be a much shorter, smaller wave than usual. And because of that, I think that right now, the failure rate, the dropout rate of people getting into health and fitness for the first time is going to be really high. And that is sad. But so what if now isn't a good time? What if you want to? Okay, so I'm really not trying to discourage you from training. I still really want you and everybody else in the world to love and be as passionate about health and fitness as I am. I really want that. But the reason that I love health and fitness, the reason that I fell in love with exercise, is because of the mental connection that I developed with it. I associate being in the gym with success. I successfully lost fat. I successfully built muscle. I successfully created who I am as a person today in the gym. But if I started off in the gym and got off to a really bad start, didn't see any results, hated it, didn't enjoy it, fell off after a week, I'd associate it with something very different. I'd think about being cold and wet in the winter outside. I'd think about doing endless, boring, goddamn push-ups and goblet squats in my house. I'd think about being bored to death on a cardio machine, and I'd think about giving up, and that's the worst part. If you want to be successful with your health and fitness journey, then you have to develop a positive mindset around it. You have to develop these positive connections with what health and fitness is to you. If you can do it during these times, if you love running outside in the cold weather, then that is great, do it. But what I'm really trying to say is, if you're sat there dreading, thinking about trying to get into exercise right now because of all the things I've mentioned, then don't do it. Don't do it right now. Wait. To be successful with this whole health and fitness thing, to be successful with your goals, you have to want them. You have to want to do it. If you hate the idea of it right now because of this situation, then you aren't ready for it yet, and that is okay.